What if you could mathematically build the absolute best counter team for your server, or at that, for that matter, the absolute best team for your server? Well, let's check it out.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero War Central, and in today's video, I want to talk about how to build a counter team, how to build the absolute best counter team for your server, which type is best for your server. But before we get into that, I do want to mention that this video is mostly just me talking about Hero Wars Secrets, one of their most recent videos. Koko is a fantastic YouTuber, a fantastic Hero Wars YouTuber, I should say. He primarily plays on the Facebook and website, but what he did a couple of videos ago is he mathematically broke down the absolute best team to build depending on what server you're on. Now, I do have some critiques to some of the points that he makes, and I want to talk about those here. But guys, the first link in the description box down below is the link to that video, and it's a little long, so I'm going to talk a little bit about it in a much shorter format here. And then if you guys really want to learn how to play Hero Wars, like really want to learn about team building, you guys got to follow this guy. You got to give Koko at Hero Wars Secrets a subscribe. He's one of the highest analytic players that I've ever met. So Hero Wars Secrets, of course, he came up with this idea to make the most precise tier list. And the reason why he wanted to do this, obviously, was to come up with the best counters for, whatever server that you're playing on. And how he did this is he went through every single server on Facebook, all 55 servers. He created a level 20 account on all 55 servers and got all of those accounts leveled to 20 so you can actually see the defending heroes list. And then he compiled all 1,100 arena teams into a list. And it's kind of hard to read here, but we'll reference it a little bit more in the future. But this is basically a percentage showing of each and every hero in the entire game here on Hero Wars Facebook and web. So using this method, he's able to break down the most popular healers, the most popular tanks, the most popular damage dealers. And this is my first critique. First of all, this is defense. This is arena teams on defense. That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to mention before we get much past this particular slide is that I don't know exactly when he took these snapshots. I don't know if it was around the arena payout time or if it was just at random other time of the day. We all know that the arena rankings change quite a bit throughout the day. And right up to the point where the arena daily rewards are given out, the top 10, even the top 20, even the top 50 is shuffled around quite a bit. So I'm not sure if these are the top 20 teams right at arena reward time or if this is the top 20 teams just sometime during the day. There are a number of times that I've personally gotten into the top 20 and my team might not be represented here. It certainly is. I play popular heroes just like anybody else. But that is kind of the second critique. But what he did is he kind of used this to break down every single different role. And whether or not you agree with the roles, and for example, this is the tank page. You can see that of the total percentage of the time, Astaroth was used 40%. It looks like Aurora was used 27.5%. So from Astaroth all the way down to Chaba, we've got a list of all of the tanks that are represented in Hero Wars Facebook in Arena on defense. And this is another critique that I have. Not a bad critique, but whether or not you include a hero like Anvari. Anvari is not really a tank, though he is used as a tank. You could also consider other heroes like Jorgen or Krista, even Elmir or Ching Mao, or possibly even Lian. If you want to get a little creative, you could consider those heroes as tanks, and that could potentially skew this list a little bit. And then another critique that I have for this, even though it's not that big of a deal, the way he's got the differences broken down between S tier, A, B, C, and D, it's not uniform. All right, it's not really uniform. You have S tier being Astaroth and Aurora, and then 13% points down you have the A tier of Anvari and Cleaver, which are 14 and 13.5% represented, and then like 8.5% down is the B tier, and then from there it's only like a 2%. So it's not like a 50% drop from tier to tier to tier. It's just kind of how these have been arbitrarily grouped based on, making it look nicer. You could theoretically just put Astaroth Aurora as S and Vari and Cleaver as A, and then put the rest of them as B tier. And, it would be hard to argue the point. And, in fact, you could put Lilith a tier ahead of Chaba, since Chaba was used 0% of the time. Wouldn't that make Chaba objectively worse in a tier list like this than Lilith? Just a small critique, but this is more for visualization purposes only, and I applaud that. I'm okay with it. And then we kind of go through every single one. We have healers and supports. In this scenario, Koko is using Celeste as a support, not a healer, which is fine. She does a great amount of healing, but I think I guess she's more of a support hero in the grand scheme of things. And, again, this is how the rankings are. There's only 4 healers in the game, and they're ranked S, A, and B. Still, it's kind of an arbitrary difference. You have Martha represented 55% of the time, with Dorian represented 7%, and then Marcus and Thea only 0.5, I believe, if I can zoom in real quick. So, that 0.5% represented a D tier on the tanks, but here it's a little higher. Again, it's a very small critique, and I don't mind him using S, A, and B for this when there is such a small pool of heroes to go with. So all of that, and I'll kind of run through each of the different damage dealers. You have magic, you have physical, and then you have physical pure damage dealers. That's Yasmin, Kira, and Qingmao do physical and pure damage. And then you have magical and pure damage dealers. That's Heidi, Maya, Lian, and Phobos. And then you kind of break this into the data-based tier list. And this, according to Koko, and in my opinion, also I like this as well, this is the best representation of a tier list on Hero Wars Facebook. This is absolutely the best based on the predefined metrics. What is the most used heroes. So the idea, and at this point on the video, I'm going to tell you that the actual discussion about how to use this data begins at the 11 minute and 27 second mark. I'll actually have that as a time code down below as well. That's how Koko tells you how to use this data. And it's really good. It's really exceptional how he breaks down the differences in, which team to use and why, and what counters them, and the choices for it. And they're all broken down like this. I'm not going to break it down for you. I think he does an incredible job, and I really want you guys to go watch his video and not just take my word for it. I really need you guys to go subscribe to Hero Wars Secrets. Watch his stuff. He's incredibly analytical. He's much more analytical than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. And he's a different kind of YouTuber. His content's a little different from mine. I'm more off the cuff, I think, than he is. But he's a fantastic YouTuber, and I don't think he's getting nearly enough credit or nearly enough exposure. So Hero Wars Nexters, if you guys are watching, please promote this guy. He does some fantastic work for the community, and nobody really is paying attention to him, and they should be. So whether or not you agree with his math and his metrics and all of that, please let me know in the comment section down below. Again, guys, the very first link in the description box down below is a link to this video. The second link is the time code that jumps directly to the 11 minute and 27 second mark on his video, where he discusses how to use this tier list and how to use this math to build the absolute best team for your server. Say you're a new player, say you're a veteran player joining server 35. How to use that information on server 35 to build the absolute best team. Now, obviously, you're not going to build a maxed out team in a month, so data is going to change between now and a year from now whenever you have a competitive arena team. But still, this is incredible math. I love it. Koko, you did a great job. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.